Good morning. My name is Joe Lacey. I'm from Austin, Texas. In this era when the financial departments of the institutions of higher learning are referring to you as an anomaly, and they preach the efficient markets hypothesis, saying that you can't outperform the market, where does one go to find a mentor like you found in Ben Graham, someone you can ask questions to regarding value investing?
My understanding is that the University of Florida has instituted a couple of courses that actually Mason Hawkins gave them a significant amount of money to finance, and I believe they're teaching something other than efficient markets there. There's a very good course at Columbia, I know, that it gets a lot of visiting teachers to come in. I go in there and teach occasionally, but a number of practitioners do. So I think the efficient market theory is less wholly writ now than it was 15 or 20 years ago in universities, but there's a lot of it taught. But I think you can find more diversity in what is being offered now than 10 or 20 years ago, and I'd recommend looking into those two schools. It's really quite useful. If you had a merchant shipping business, if all of your competitors believe the world is flat, it is a huge edge, because they will not take any they will not take on any cargo to go to places that are beyond where they think they will fall off. And so we should be encouraging the teaching of efficient market theories in universities. And it amazes me. But I think one time that was it Keynes that said that most economists are most economical about ideas, that they make the ones they learn in graduate school last a lifetime. And what happens is that you spend years getting your PhD in finance, and you learn theories with a lot of mathematics in them that the average layman can't do, and you become sort of a high priest, and you get an enormous amount of yourself and ego and even professional security invested in those ideas, and it gets very hard to back off after a given point. And I think that to some extent has contaminated the teaching of investing in the universities. Charlie?
Well, I would argue that the contamination was massive. But it's waning.
Yeah, it is waning.
It's waning. The good ideas eventually triumph.
Yeah. The word anomaly I've always found interesting on that, because after a while, I mean, Columbus was an anomaly, but what it means is something that the academicians could not explain, and rather than re-examine their theories, they simply discarded any evidence of that sort as anomalous. And I think when you find information that contradicts previously cherished beliefs, that you've got a special obligation to look at it, and look at it quickly. I think Charlie told me that one of the things Darwin did was that whenever he found anything that contradicted some previous belief, he knew that he had to write it down almost immediately, because he felt that the human mind was so conditioned to reject contradictory evidence that unless he got it down in black and white very quickly, his mind would simply push it out of existence. Charlie knows more about Darwin than I do. Maybe he can explain that.
Well, I don't know about Darwin, but I did find it amusing. One of these extreme efficient market theorists explained Warren for many, many years as an anomaly of luck. And he got to 6 sigmas, 6 standard deviations of luck. And then people started laughing at him, because six sigmas of luck is a lot. So he changed his theory. Now Warren has 6 or 7 sigmas of skill.
Oh.
So you see,
I'd rather have the 6 sigmas of luck, actually.
the one thing he couldn't bear to leave was his 6 sigmas.